There's an abandoned ditch located right off a highway that I've been wanting to fix up so I could skate for years. The hike through the bushes with no trail to get to the ditch has been the largest discouragement for me. Whenever I tell people about the mission to get to it, typically they're not interested in going. Not only that, but it's a bit of a risky area to be walking around considering mountain lions, snakes, and everything else in between, which I do encounter later in this video. But today, I decided to go build this ditch. I woke up early in the morning, it was nice and gloomy. I started gathering all the supplies needed to make this spot. I filled up my water jug, and the next stop was the hardware store to pick up all the concrete we need to make this thing happen. We're about to go in the store. I'm going to show you how much everything costs because that's the first thing first. Look at $1. This is a great thing. I always try to include it. If you have a truck or anything with like a bed where you don't have to worry about the interior of a car like I do. Look at it. You got your cement on here, Quickcrete. Like, it's a nice little package for building a skate spot, all for $1. Like, honestly, you can almost rent a truck and get like multiple of these pallets and build a whole skate spot for like $3. Unfortunately, I don't have the car for that. It sucks because I wish I could throw it in my car, but it's brand new, so it's not worth risking it. Luckily today I'm not going to be getting too much concrete, but when I see this $1 pallet with everything we need and more, it does make me hesitate. Maybe I need to get a truck eventually, just for DIY spots. So here it is, straight from the source, $26 for one of these bad boys. You get that whole pallet for $1 if you have a truck. Today we're going to be using 2 red bags of Quickcrete, which is fast setting, and 1 bag of mortar specs mix, which costs a total of $29.63 after tax. Like I said, the hardest thing about this spot is the location. I have to drop all my supplies on the side of what is basically a highway, so I wore my high-vis vest for 2 different reasons. 1, make people not question what I'm doing, and 2, so people could see me when they're driving past really fast. Getting all my supplies to this ditch on the mountain is definitely going to be the most physical and mentally challenging part of this entire build. There is no trail to the spot that I'm trying to build at, but I have checked it out a few times, so I have a general idea of where to go. That was much more difficult than I had anticipated. Whew. Take a breather for a second and try to chill in some of the shade. There's limited shade up here, but now that I'm up here, I'm just happy. I think that's hopefully gonna be the hardest part. And it's so funny because today it was like nice and gloomy out. The weather was cool. I was like, oh, today's the day to do this, because I knew it was gonna be hard. Like, I knew getting all the supplies up here was gonna be a big mission, especially alone. And yeah, the sun started coming out right as I started unloading all of our supplies. It's like, oh great, this would happen. So, gotta take a breather, get some water. Ultimately, these videos, the whole objective of all these videos, and right now it's like, no excuses, right? Like, I can make so many excuses, but yeah, let's see what time it is, because I want to keep track of how long this stuff takes, considering like how long we spend doing other things. 11:10 right now on the clock, so we'll see how long this whole project takes, but I gotta take a beat. So as you can see, this is already a pretty good ditch. Like, there's banks. We got this like ledge on top. It's kind of like a bank to curb, bank to ledge type of situation. Hard part about it is the bottoms are a little kinked, so it takes a lot of your speed. You can't keep your speed. And what you do is you drop in on this other side, you push through, and you'll hit this. So the objective is to basically fix up the bottom of the bank so we add a little transition. Then I'm also gonna add some transition to the top. That way you can get to the lip a little bit easier. Hopefully this will make it so there's like endless possibilities for tricks. Because right now, you basically just stall because it takes a lot of your speed. Like, you drop in, you get to this bank, by the time you get to the top, it's really hard to hit it because not only can you not ride up it, but it's kinked at the bottom. So we're just gonna make it a little bit easier. First things first, I'm actually gonna get these cracks kind of patched up so that they won't take as much of our speed as well. So basically just gonna pull some of these weeds, kind of get it cleaned off down here. As you can see, there's some big weeds in the cracks. So I'm gonna get my gloves on, pull some of these weeds. And as you also can see, at one point there was some transition. So a person that I'll keep anonymous, he is a homie. We did this like way back in the day. Did it up there, or I should say he did it. I didn't really do it. I was here like kind of watching. I learned a lot from him, but essentially we're gonna redo that. We're gonna add some transition on the bottom and the top, fix the cracks, and just make this spot really skatable. So first things first, I'm just gonna pull some of these weeds and kind of clean off the area where I'm gonna fix these little cracks so that they don't take all of our speed when we're trying to push to the ledge. I'm really regretting wearing pants right now. But if I was gonna climb up to this spot with shorts on, oh my gosh, that would have been gnarly. I would have so many scrapes and stuff on my legs. Obviously, if I had like a broom or a leaf blower, it'd be much easier to get all this debris, but that's a whole nother thing I would have to carry and bring up here. So I'm just using my t-shirt to kind of get some of those loose ends out of there. And next, we're gonna start mixing the mortar. Mortar doesn't have any rocks in it, although it is weaker. Because it's such a small little gap, I'm just gonna run it. If I was gonna be here for a lot longer, this is a skate park or like my DIY spot where I'm building it and I want it to be really strong, I probably would want some rock in there, just so it's like solidifies and kind of grabs onto each other. But for this, I think it'll be good enough. All right, so I'm gonna work my way with this crack right here and go that way. I'm gonna try to mix probably like half the bag of mortar. Just get it all done right away. Because I didn't bring a mask like I normally like to wear when I'm mixing concrete, I'm actually just gonna break it here, kind of scoop it in. Get all that debris out of our bucket here. I actually don't even think I'll need half of this, because I do want to save some of our mortar for our fast setting concrete. That's about a quarter of the bag. We'll start there. This stuff does dry pretty quick, but I'm gonna make it really wet, so that way kind of get in those seams really good. Pretty good mix consistency, but I'm gonna get a little bit wetter just because it's so hot out. That way I have time to work with it. I don't want to waste too much of our water because we still have the 2 concrete bags, but I do want to get a little bit wet where we're gonna add the concrete, kind of just get a little bit of that debris off. It'll also stick better. I should have brought some concrete adhesive, but again, some very minimal supply job, because bringing things up here ain't no easy feat. I'm actually going to put it in there with a shovel. Keep an eye on where their path is right here. I'm going to use my pull trowel because straight aluminum kind of layers it in there better. And try not to trowel it too much, really. Just kind of want to fill that void. Nothing too crazy. Oh, I got it too wet. This ground is pretty rough, so the mortar kind of grabs onto the ground because it is so rough. So it's honestly pretty good right there. That last one, I think I got too wet, so we'll see if this works better. I do wish I brought the sponge. But on these edges, a little smoother. I think less is more with this. The more I have to kind of blend to the existing concrete. I'll try to use a little less on this one. Here's when I heard steps walking around outside the ditch. Whatever it is has to be big as a coyote. It wasn't just a snake because it was pretty loud steps in the leaves. Something moving around over there. I'm scared right now. So as quiet as I possibly could, I started troweling the patch for the bottom of the bank. I kept taking breaks to figure out where it was going, but it seemed to just be going back and forth in circles around me. Alright, well, I better get to this transition before this mountain lion or whatever it is over here does end up eating me. Hopefully that doesn't happen and I can skate it after. Whew, burning up. So I wasn't expecting to add the mortar over that little like roll-in patch, but I did do it, and I think it'll help us in the long run. I just mixed too much mortar. So now I'm going to use the fast setting concrete, which is this red bag. The idea with the fast setting is just that we can skate it tomorrow, hopefully. Also, like, it just works quicker, so I'm not going to have as much time to shape it. I'm going to try to just throw this into this position right here where you can see it's actually a where the paint is off. Last time all the mini transition got lifted. And I don't need to add too much. I do want to add some transition to the top. So with that said, I'm gonna quietly try to mix this so whatever's moving around over there doesn't come over here, hopefully. I'm a little scared right now, I'm not gonna lie. Probably like half a bag for the bottom. Then I'll use the rest for the top. I'm guessing. Maybe a landing patch? I don't think we need a landing patch actually. Gonna mix a little mortar in here just to blend up top and bottom. And the mortar definitely absorbs water faster, so just don't want to do too much mortar because I want this transition to be nice and strong. Like I said, the mortar isn't as high as a PSI. It's not strong. Alright, because I mixed more than I wanted to, I gotta work kind of fast. So I want to get this bottom transition on here, and I'll probably use some of that other stuff to get to the top so we can get that bank transition to the curb a little more smooth, because right now there's a little gap up there. Start with our magnesium trowel. Kind of get these rocks down under. Shape it a little. Don't want it to be too banked. Keep some of that transition. Can go over the top with some mortar if we need to, but ideally don't really want to. Kind of just shape it a little, keep it all nice and consistent. So the idea here, we don't want too much transition, it's just to kind of keep us from that abrupt hit so we can keep our speed. I'm gonna let that sit, come back and hit it, but I don't want to waste our concrete that's sitting in our tub over here. Bring it to the top. Gotta mix some more so we can fill this little area. Plus I have it, so I might as well. Heavy load coming up. Oh gosh, that was scary. Whew. Looks like you kind of sit it in the shade back there. Getting hot. I mean, that's a good entrance. I want to butter it up a little more, but I think since I have the Quikrete, I might like skim the exit area a little bit. Since there's a gap, it's kind of flat, could hang you up, so might as well. Makes it more of a channel anyways. Kind of have to grind that far or slide. because it's so hot and I'm trying to film and do all this really quick in this fast setting too fast. So the water will make me have a little more time to work with it. Kind of smooth it out. Whew, getting hot. So after some back and forth in my head, I realized that I actually don't need a skim coat over this. Like, it would be nice, but because it's just like 2 inches basically of training that is just helping us keep speed so we can actually do tricks at the spot, I'm not gonna do like a trowel smooth coat over it because I just don't think it's really necessary. Concrete is already really hard. This stuff dries so fast, and I think like it's skatable as it is. But the one thing that I am gonna do, because we do have some leftover concrete, actually didn't use it all, got like almost a quarter of a bag left, I'm going to fix this little bottom seam. So I wasn't going to originally, but you do see it has a little lip. It could snag you on your way in. That's where we're gonna be coming in at, ideally. So with that said, that's where I'm gonna finish this. And I do have some leftover mortar, so maybe I'll leave it for tomorrow's session in case there is any patchwork to be done. But yeah, I'm actually gonna fix up that bottom seam, which I wasn't gonna do before, but since I have the leftover concrete, I might as well. And I'm not gonna trowel over it because I think it'll be good. I mean, we'll see shortly once I come back to skate it. So I don't even really want to tranny this at all. Really just want to fill the crack. But I'll probably end up training it a little bit because I can't help myself. Pull off some of that excess that we don't need. Whew. All right, time to clean up a little. Come back tomorrow. We'll check on the time, see how long that took us. I mean, obviously I could do more, but because I don't think the spot is gonna last forever, it's like you gotta weigh out how much integrity you actually want to put into it. So yeah, could have used different concrete, could have done cementol, all sorts of things we could have done to make it better. But this is just about making the spot skatable and fun. So I'm gonna pick up my trash. We'll come back tomorrow. By the way, we did that in 2.5 hours. That's not bad. Whew. Definitely would have been easier with the homie, but dang. Hyped to get it done. Hyped to go back and get a skate session on it. Right now I need to go take a dunk in some water. We're back, day 2, baby. We're here. And it doesn't look like anything cracked. That's what I was really concerned about because it was so hot. We got the homies here. Hyped. Made the mission up. Everything's looking good. Look at landing area. I definitely got some clippers. No!
That's okay. Fucker.
Fucker. Everything looks dry. I'm stoked.
Looks good. Did you get that?
No cracks. No, I didn't. This thing is what I was most worried about, this, because when I was leaving yesterday it was like pretty cracked, but everything looks pretty dry. And because it's only 24 hours, a little over 24 hours, I was concerned at first because it was so hot though. Like, this stuff's dry, the mortar's dry, the fast setting's ready. So take a breather, and I'm gonna clip some of the hedges and get a little session going. So it's been about almost 2 weeks now since that last session and I haven't come back at all. Unfortunately, towards the end of the session, I did notice there was some cracking happening to our mortar, so we skated it too soon. To be honest, I was just really hyped, really excited. It was fine, but the thing is the quickcrete settled really good, but the mortar didn't set so good. And there's only a few obstacles where I set the mortar. This one is pure quickcrete, that one is pure quickcrete, and that one up there is the fast setting. All these are the same fast setting quickcrete, and there's no chipping on them. For the most part, these are actually really good. It's the mortar up here that's chipping. This is the main issue right here, because this is where we roll in. So I actually brought my little Bondo kit. I'll show you what's in it. I didn't need it. I probably don't need all of this, like all 2 tubs, but I'd rather have more than not enough. So I got my Bondo there, my rub brick. I'm gonna get the top grinding better. I'll show you in a second. Got some gloves, keep your hands clean, some tape, just to mark off our area. Little mixer tube. You could just use this. You don't actually need these plastic guys, but they were like $3, so I decided to get them. So first thing I'm gonna do is actually just mix up some Bondo and just kind of patch this bottom mortar area so that doesn't fully fall apart, because as you can see, it is pretty loose right now. That is my fault. If I would have waited like 4 days, it probably would have been fine, honestly, but mortar is weaker. Lesson learned. I probably should have just done all quickcrete. Every time I learn a lesson, I wanted to use the mortar because it's cheap and it's easy, like dent set. Probably should have just got some Cemental or Ardex. Like there's better, stronger stuff. The stuff that I use is just too weak for how fast we skated it. So I should have used stronger stuff considering how fast I'm gonna skate it. Would have been fine if I just waited longer, but yeah, let's sweep up this little obstacle right here, this rolling part, because we need this rolling to get to the spot, and then we're gonna add some Bondo just on these cracks so that basically just the spot lasts longer, hopefully for years. All right, we got the Bondo on there. It's gonna preserve a little bit better. I haven't worked with the blue Bondo before, like the blue hardener. I always learn every time I mess with Bondo, which is not very often, use less hardener. So don't use as much hardener as I used. You probably can use like half the tube here in California, you'd be good. The rest of the skating at this spot is gonna be in a video part coming soon.